You know, over the next month, we're getting straight to the heart of Washington. We're going to be sitting down with members of South Dakota's congressional delegation, taking a look at what is happening behind the scenes on Capitol Hill and what it might mean for the rest of us. Tonight, I'm joined by South Dakota's senior United States Senator John Thune. Always good to see you.
Good, Brian. Nice to be with you.
Before we talk about Washington, you recently took part in a pretty big parade in your hometown of Murdo. Tell me about that. What was that about?
Right. Well, so it was the 70th anniversary of the Pioneer Auto Museum,
Oh, sure.
which is a, you know, if you've ever driven down Interstate 90, you can't miss when you go by my hometown, but
Right.
it's kind of the thing that pulls people off the interstate, or has for the last 70 years. And so it was just a neat opportunity to recognize, and the patriarch, Dave Geisler, passed away here recently.
Oh, wow.
And so it was an opportunity to recognize him for the contributions he's made through the years. Every small town has those people or those families that kind of keep the town going. And for the past 70 years or so, that's been Dave Geisler. His family still got the business operation going, but
Yeah.
this was an opportunity to recognize, you know, his not only his accomplishments, but the contributions he's made to the well-being of the people of Murdo for entire life.
Yeah, good deal there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Farm Bill here for a second.
Yeah.
Where are things at specifically with this piece of legislation, and what is it that you're able to do to sort of get the best deal overall for everyone involved? You know, it's the industry here in South Dakota. A lot of eyes are on this specific issue.
Yeah, it's our #1 industry, and this is my 5th Farm Bill. We do a Farm Bill every 4 or 5 years. I've done 4 of them now, both in the House now and in the Senate. And this one's been a lot harder, but partly because the Democrat leadership in the Senate and the chair of the Senate Ag Committee, the Democrats control the Senate, has yet to bring it up for a markup. And so we haven't had anything to vote on yet. And we're trying to negotiate with her on something that would make sense for production agriculture. We call it putting more farm in the Farm Bill. Her focus and the focus of a lot of the folks on the other side of the aisle has been climate. And that's a different, creates different conclusions about the best way to proceed than if you're focused on production agriculture. So we're trying to steer them back in that direction, but a lot of it has to do with how resources get allocated between different commodities and regions of the country, et cetera. But unfortunately, this time around, politics has gotten into it much more than it has in the past.
You've talked a lot lately about fiscal responsibility, a lot of floor speeches on the floor of the United States Senate. National debt, as you know, no secret here, just continues to climb. What needs to be done specifically to I'll use the word solve this? Short term, you would like to see what happen?
Well, I think I like to see a cap on what we call discretionary spending. That's the part that Congress annually approves for. I'd like to see pro-growth policies in the economy, which is regulatory policy, tax policy, energy, things like that. Things that will change if we get the majority in November, because you get more growth, you get more revenue. You know, the rule of thumb is for every 1 point increase in GDP, you get about $3 trillion in additional revenue. So you need pro-growth policies, but you got to restrain spending. So when I say cap discretionary spending, that's a small part of overall spending. Almost 3/4 now of all federal spending is in what we call mandatory programs. And we've got to slow the rate of growth in some of those programs. We just have to. I mean, we can't sustain this. It's only a matter of time. This is a time bomb. It's going to blow up on us. And I'm really concerned about it. And I think it's hard to get people to focus on it because they look at the stock market, their 401k, and everything's doing well. But this is really we're going to feel it in the future if we don't do something about it now.
You know, you ask 10 people this next question, you'll get 10 different answers, but I want to hear what's on your mind. What is the biggest issue in your mind facing the United States right now? What's at the top of the list specifically for you?
I would say first and foremost, it's always to me national security. If you don't get national security right, the rest is conversation. You've got to be able to defend the country. And you've got this unholy alliance building between China, Russia, North Korea, Iran. And the world's a very dangerous place. I mean, all you got to do is turn on the television or pick up a newspaper and see that that's true. So it's national security, first and foremost, keeping the country safe in a dangerous world, and making sure we're making the right decisions about that. But then secondly, I would say the debt. I just think that thing it is creeping up on us, and it's, you know, I think we have a sense of complacency about it because it doesn't seem to be affecting my life today. But I think it's up to us as policymakers to anticipate the things that could really hurt us in the future, and I think this is building to a crisis. And so we've got to come up with the political courage and wherewithal, hopefully with presidential leadership, working with the Congress to do some things to get it on, get some of these programs on a more sustainable basis.
Yeah. More with South Dakota Senator John Thune when we come back here on Dakota News Now.